Oh, hello everybody. Oh, it's time. It's time for the MegaLoveMania stream, baby. I know I kind of like bounced it around all throughout this week, but we're settling on it for a Friday. Feel like that's a pretty good time to go ahead and take a look at it. So let me get this out of the way real quick. So just a disclaimer, from Wolf, is that this is an early access build. Some sprites and assets are missing, and some areas are still work in progress, but the story for Chapter 1 is fully fleshed to enjoy. So, just so we're clear on everything out the gate, we're going to be looking at it today. We're going to have a good time. I don't know how long it'll run for, since it's just Chapter 1. I figure probably anywhere from like an hour, maybe 2 hours. It just depends on how long a chapter is. I figure afterwards I'll probably I'll cut the stream so that way this is its own segment, and then we'll roll into doing like some of the Castle Crasher DLC, the Painter Boss DLC. So it ought to be a good time. I'm not gonna piddle about too much here at the beginning, since, you know, people are obviously here to see the MegaLoveMania part. Don't want to keep them waiting. We're just gonna give it like another like 5 minutes. That way people can go ahead and trickle in some more, because we're starting just a bit earlier than our usual time. And I know that there's some people, or I would figure there's some people who were watching the town hall for the Snoot Club, which I did not tune into. I just saw I saw that the Snoot Club had changed their server icon to like a Reddit icon, and I was like, what the fuck's going on over there? But yeah, it looks like they're done now, so just a couple more minutes and we'll be good to go. I did my pre-stream stuff, went and took a piss, sculled some gamer subs, so that way I'm good to go. Considering there's a plan for about 16 plus chapters, possibly maybe 30 minutes per chapter or longer. Gotcha. Yeah, and then it makes sense. We'll probably be skewing on the longer side of things, so that way, you know, we can take time to talk about different things that are going on. And obviously, since I'm going to be like practicing the old voice acting muscles. I don't think, fuck, when was the last time I like read something? It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Shit, it might have been when we did devlog, right? No, it would have been sooner than that. I don't know. I'd have to look at my like fucking catalog and see where exactly we stopped doing as many talkies. But well, you guys are gonna get a nice one tonight. Q&A is what it was. Yeah, it was about like the whole situation they had recently, right? Ugh. Well, I call it a situation. It sounded like they were just, you know, cleaning house a little bit. Probably right at an hour. That's where my run ended. Gotcha. Everyone's gonna be a walk in the park. Hell yeah, Wolf Serenity being based by making Humo stream 8 hours per stream. Yeah, you guys trying to kill me or something? Wasn't there mod jam after devlog? That might have been like one of the last ones we did. I want to say like the last mod jam that we did was the one around Halloween time. And then I don't think we did any other ones after that. Yeah, I think, I'm trying to find... Yeah, this was like in November 1st, the Snoot Jam, but scary. I think that would have been that one. Where we had the relatively uncomfortable mod that made me want to go, I'm good. And the one the shark buys an electric car and then dumps the battery in the ocean. Gone silent after the devlog. Wasn't the Halloween jam? Ain't devlog have more chapters out? Yeah, devlog's got more chapters out. I want to say they just recently... what was it? Just recently they had chapter 5? Or I remember seeing something about chapter 5. So they're still obviously working on it. I'll be coming back to it at some point. I'm just kind of like, at this point, I think I want to wait until it's mostly out before I keep doing it. Which mod made you uncomfortable? I need to check it out now. It was like, I can't remember the name. You'd have to go check the spooky Snoot Jam video I did. It would have been like one of the last ones we did on it. It was just uncomfortable. I don't really want to get into it here. Some shark boy. I'm waiting for Lava Girl. I'm still after your devlog streams though. Stream demo for devlog is right around the corner too. E2 Shark gets a hybrid with low coverage. Halloween Jam got, yeah, I can't wait for chapter 1 to be like 30 minutes or some shit. Well, according to Wolf, they're going to be about 30 minutes plus. The Steam demo for devlog right around the corner. Gotcha. Yeah, because they were planning on having that be like a fully fleshed out product, right? Chapter 5 was a bitch glitch. Was a bit glitched out, or I can't fucking speak. I guess it's good I'm getting my foibles done here in the beginning rather than during the stream. Chapter 5 was a bit glitched, but someone cracked it for free. Chapter 5 is public, but Chapter 6 is out for patrons. Gotcha. Ben was a bit patriotic. That was one of the Snoot Jam ones, yeah. That was a fun one, though. Yap it out to an extended hour. Now we're gonna... Look, I'm gonna give this the time that we need to. We'll be good. And then we'll be playing Castle Crashers afterwards. So we'll get a good look at MegaLoveMania, and then people can look at the little fucking abomination I made for the Castle Crasher DLC. Because mind you, you can ask Jake, I did spend like 2 to 3 hours last night. 2 to 3 hours last night trying to cobble something together, and he heard me and my woes as I tried to do something that looked decent, and then came out to be like absolute just it's a thing. I got lazy. With the Dan on Discord Yeah, that one. God help me, my ma is next to me watching this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, hopefully I don't disappoint here. Yeah, when you live react to that, Jake, it's gonna be a good time. I did make one, but I didn't mess with the cover art. Well, that's fine. Look, when it came to the cover art, I reused some assets, is what I will say. But I think we've waited a decent bit of time here. We can go ahead and at least get to the main menu. Let me boot it up real quick. Okay. Give it a second to kick over. And there we go. Let me make sure the audio is mostly fine. I'll turn this down just a tinge. Right about there. That should be good. Yeah, I booted it up earlier to make sure that it booted, because that's always important, but I didn't check what it was looking like on the OBS. So this should be a good volume, I think. Humo creating the canon voice for the characters live on stream. Don't say that. Do not take this as canon voices, because heaven forbid you try and make me like any of these characters. So like, here's the thing, right? Obviously, whenever it comes to like one of these mods, our Anon type character has to be a voice that I can do with some degree of regularity. Otherwise, I'm going to wreck everything. I've been waiting my whole life for this. This isn't a public demo, is it? I don't believe it's fully public. I was given permission to stream it, though. Canon voice for Justin is the mesothelioma ad narrator. Time to dive into the Shark Tank. Music's nice. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I remember when some of the music was getting shared for this and everything, and I gave it a listen. I was having a good time, just bobbing with it. Waited a whole year since the beginning. Now we're here, brothers. Yeah, this was one of the ones that kind of got announced around the same time as the other big mods, like devlog and Hold On To Me. At least from, if memory serves correctly, I know this, it was around that time that the three kind of made their made themselves known. And now we finally got something in hand for it. I think only 3 people plus Humo got to play this, if I recall. Well, now everybody gets to see it. This is not fully public. This is an early access to giving to select few for screening. And I gave Humo permission to stream it to show proof of development. Precisely. Which, thank you, Wolf. Much appreciated. Alright, let's go ahead and get it started then. Let's see if I'm a wash streamer or not, or if I can actually belt out some pretty decent voice here. August 27th, year 201M 2024 BC. Oh, one thing, for those of you who might not have been around during the different types of reading streams like this, I tend not to interact as much with chats unless we are taking like a sidebar. So, just so that way we don't interrupt the flow as much. I glanced out of the bus window to look at some of the storefronts and businesses that were serving the native populace. Everything was brand new, down to the flora blowing the breeze. I was definitely not a Triassic state area. I was definitely not in the Triassic state area anymore. I'd been sent to attend one of the best engineering schools in the country, all the way over in Manuahi. The nice part about being in a small town like Manuahi is that you don't have to pay the fare when you see the bus. It was all covered by the city. It works well enough for me because I'm broke as hell. The only things that had accompanied me on my long journey here were my clothes, my laptop, and a phone to peruse the usual subforms. As my phone beckons me to pick it up, I begin to ponder what seedy corner of the internet to read through on my way to campus. Let's see. R/car modding, R/underscale, R/schnoot game. What the hell? Schnoot game. Not a very well-known game, but a very close-knit community. Originally being built on the one thing the internet can agree on, hate, it ironically became a beacon for many people. Apparently the devs just released a new game based in the same universe. Before I was able to read one of the posts, the bus came to a complete stop. I look out the window behind me to find that we had already arrived at my destination. Caldera Reef. Next stop, Caldera Reef. I scrambled to gather all my stuff as the doors were starting to close. Just narrowly, I made it past the automated doors, taking my first steps into my new life. Caldera Reef. Probably the biggest institution Manuahi had to offer. From its inception, it's been the alma mater of some of the most prestigious engineers in the country. Said engineers have sent a whole lot of funding back to the school, so more great engineers can come out swinging. This school is actually quite hard to get into. Either your parents have to be absolutely loaded, or you need to have near-perfect grades from your previous school years so you can get in on a full ride. Being not only one of the best trade schools in the country, but also notorious for its fantastic tech courses, it's obvious a lot of people want to come and enroll, but the school only has so many open spots. And I just so happen to be one of the fortunate few to get a full ride for the year. With all that being said, you'd think that my parents would be off the walls ecstatic from the news. In my mother's case, that was true. But for my dad, he was stonewalled like usual. Just acted like it wasn't anything to write home about. Not that it matters if he gives a shit or not. I'm gonna use the chance I was given. I'm gonna follow in my father's footsteps in becoming an engineer. And I'm gonna make it big. Steel my nerves and begin walking inside, my mind filled with ideas on what kinds of experiences I could end up having with like-minded people. Jesus, talk about security. I guess it makes sense due to the sheer notoriety of the campus, but I feel like I'm going to an airport rather than a school. Next! Alright, son, school ID and bag on the counter. ID? Shit. I don't think they gave me one. Ah, man, this feels like I'm failing a skill check in Dungeons and Dinos. Actually, sir, I'm, new here? I didn't get an ID. This is it. My life is over before it even began. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I failed you as a son. I'm just messing with your boy. I knew you were coming. Justin Hayden, right? I got your school ID right here. Oh, thanks, sweet Raptor Jesus. I'm sorry, I just can't help but mess with the newbies. Look on their faces gets me going every time. Yeah, well, my heart could have done without losing a couple years off my life. Well, no harm done, sir. Alright, everything's set. You're good to go, Justin. Just be sure to keep that ID handy next time. Yes, sir. Sweet Raptor Jesus, is that a plane? I was only joking about the airport part. Man, this is definitely nothing like my old school. The sheer size of just the cafeteria is intimidating. It's almost like a dream. Everything looks so fancy compared to what we had in Velocirashington High, or State. Ugh, I can feel my wallet crying already just by looking at the menu. I better move on before I make an impulse buy. This is the first time ever that I was surrounded by such talent. There's already a fair number of students here, chatting with each other. Old friends reuniting after a summer long gone by. Past enemies having their first arguments of the year, and a whole array of student club posters and future events lining the walls of the hallway. Yeesh, there doesn't even seem to be that many humans. But at least I'm not a black sheep. Although I would have liked some company during my school year. But I am in a dino-dominated area now, so I wouldn't be too shocked. My species is the minority here. For a private institution that crowns itself with its strict criteria when choosing the next student body, it sure is crowded. It's still crazy to me how many students are enrolled, all of them like-minded and gathered in one place. Pure excitement of what I'll be able to do now with such talent. Feels like a rush of dopamine. Shit, this is starting to get crowded. I can barely move one step ahead without almost bumping into someone. If I can just squeeze my way past these guys, I should be able to get to the mechanic wing of the school. Being a relatively thin guy, that probably shouldn't be an issue, right?
Hey! Watch the wings! Excuse you? Watch it, Skinny!
Excuse me, sorry, coming through, so sorry.
Ah! My tail! Sorry!
Dude, Jesus, that was hard. How is a school this big still so damn crowded? And the heat. Ugh, I'm slowly regretting my choice of clothing today. Thankfully, I brought some water. And empty. Must have forgotten to fill it before I left. Thankfully, they have the fancy water fountains with the refiller. As I fill up my bottle, my mind starts to wander about recalling how I've already been treated thus far. It hasn't been that long since I walked in, and I knew I hadn't exactly made a flattering first impression. I was scared with the amount of dinos, that I'd be rushed by a mob of scales, claws, and wings. Thankfully, while not very many, there are other humans here. It actually kinda makes me happy. Back home, when I transferred, there was a crowd of curious dinos the moment I walked through the door, eager to see a human for the first time. The attention was nice, at first. But the moment I tried to make friends with the crowd, no one seemed to care. No one stuck around, as if I was nothing more than a monkey in a zoo. But that's how it goes. I try so hard and get only so far. In the end, it never usually matters. Just like with Dad. But not this time. I'll crush it this year and stick it to my old man. I will succeed. Sweet raptor, Jesus!
You're just in hiding, correct?
Holy crustaceous, she's huge. It's a mosasaur?
How did she manage to sneak up on me?
Yeah. How do you know my name?
Well, you're one of the new full ride students, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Not to be rude, but should I know who you are?
Oh, why, don't sweat it, dear. I'm just a member of the board. I oversee all the applicants to the campus, and yours in particular was of keen interest.
Oh, that does explain that then.
Oh, I apologize, Justin. I failed to introduce myself. I'm Miss Bunyan, the dean of this wonderful campus.
Oh, crap.
The dean?
I should watch my mouth. Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. The woman extended her webbed hand, offering me a shake. Well, here's hoping my hand survives.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Wow, talk about being professional. Even despite our rocky start, she's being rather polite and gentle. She's even smiling at me. Well, I think that's a smile. Likewise, Miss Bunyan. I should ask, do you know what section of the building all the workshop classes are? I have mechanical engineering as my first period, and I'm having trouble navigating with this large crowd.
The workshop classes? No, why, all of those are at the front of the school building. I'm afraid that you're on the completely wrong side of the school.
Are you serious right now? Great. That means bumping into more tails and spikes. I can feel the soreness already. Oh, I see. I guess I'll make my way back there. Thank you for the greeting, ma'am, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Of course. Either one of our counselors or I will be happy to help if you need anything else.
Thank you, Miss Bunyan.
You're most certainly welcome, Justin.
As we exchange goodbyes one more time, I turn around and make my way back. Back through all those crowds. First day and I'm already running late. Way to make a first impression, huh? After a bit more bumping into tails and horns of all sizes, I finally reached the entrance of the engineering wing. Although, now that I was standing right here, I couldn't help but start second-guessing. Would I even be welcomed here? All those weird looks and comments I got earlier caught me a bit off guard. I was used to getting stared at, but getting called a spear chucker? That's certainly a new one. Props for creativity? Eventually, I got to the front section of the school and hooked a left, while the engineering classes were cordoned off by each garage. Raptor Jesus, if you are real, please let me get to the right one. To my daughter's surprise, not a single person seemed to be here, a stark contrast to the halls back near the cafeteria. The whole area was quiet, so much that you could hear a pin drop. Am I early? How the hell does that happen? I quickly checked my phone and I realized there were still 10 minutes until class officially started. It seems I was just so overwhelmed, I assumed I was late. But I must admit, it's nice to have a quiet area after trying to shove my way through a mob of students. I was able to take a photo of my class schedule so I wouldn't have to haul around a slip of paper everywhere I went. I know. I'm a genius. My first class would be mechanical engineering with Mr. Conager. I've done little bits of physical work here and there, helping out with my dad on some of his projects. So, this class would put all the experience I have from those memories to the test. If I remember any. Needless to say, I am stoked. Being able to actually mess with the parts of machinery. Most of my engineering experience lied in design. which is why I'd also chosen to take CAD, computer-aided design. But the thought of actually being able to see how these ideas and designs work in the real world? Oh, I'm getting excited already. The amount of times I've designed the machines of my dreams through CAD is virtually countless. It'd be great to finally get my hands on this sort of software again. Couldn't wait to see what sorts of nutty ideas my brain would produce. My head. Guys, it's the shark. I have no idea what voice to do. You know, this is one of those things where you would think about it beforehand, but I really didn't. I kind of just assumed that by the time I got here, I'd figure it out. You know, I got an idea for this part. Hold up a sec. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Spooky pumpkin. I turned my head to see who exactly just ran into me with the force of a freight train and... I'm so sorry. It's kind of hard for me to control my tail while I'm running. Are you hurt? Teeth. Big, sharp teeth. As I stare up in petrified horror, my vision waning, but able to clearly see the monster in front of me, and it was no human or dino. And holy fuck, it's huge. Bigger than some Bunyan. Whatever this thing was, it was extending its arm out. Oh Christ, it's trying to grab me. GTFO! Hot air escaped my mouth and my legs started to move on their own. Despite my fear, I booked it the hell out of there, heading anywhere. Just away from there, to wherever was the furthest point from whatever the hell I just saw. Nearly 5 minutes of non-stop sprinting and I finally run out of stamina. That was probably the most amount of cardio I had ever done in my life. Eventually, I was able to lean myself up against a wall to catch my breath. My body slumped to the nearby wall. After that adrenaline rush, I didn't care about how hard the stone felt. I just needed a breather before I started reflecting on everything that happened. What in the world was that thing? Jesus, it had all those teeth and its huge body and... what am I doing? I was probably another student. Now I feel bad. They probably just wanted to help me up and I ran away out of fear. But I can't ignore that terrifying look. And those teeth and... keep it together, Hayden. It's only the first day. It can't all be that bad. I'll probably still be able to make some friends, talk about projects with them, show them ideas, and... Oh, who am I kidding? Since I arrived, I've only given a bad impression. From the hallway to this new incident at the engineering wing, any chance at a new social life is probably dead. Probably spread rumors that I'm a prejudiced bastard. How ironic. Although, if there were already rumors, I wouldn't be surprised. Have you seen the skinny? He's such a weirdo. I tried to help him and he screamed and ran away. Is he dinophobic or something? Isn't that guy bald? Lol. Last one was too much brain. Jeez, I ran far. I didn't think a guy like me could even run that fast. I better get back to the engineering wing before I'm actually late for my first class. Trying to go back to the engineering hall wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. First class of the school year. After all that's happened, I honestly have no clue if the pounding in my chest is from excitement or fear. Or just lack of breath? Wait a minute. What the hell? When did so many people get here? Always suddenly stacked with students running around looking for their classrooms. It's like a mosh pit of Technicolor. I'm getting a little annoyed at the lack of hallway etiquette. Ugh. But if I take the other way, I'll probably be late for class. Seems like I have no choice. Can this day get any worse? Take a deep breath and start walking towards the colorful sea of bodies.
Hey, mind the wings, Flintstone!
Yo, my kicks! Sorry.
Fuck! My tail again!
Sorry! Ow! Oh, man. I hope to God that this isn't going to be a regular occurrence. I don't think I'll last till the next semester, so... Okay, well, here we are. Come on, Aiden, you can't pussy out now. Just go with the flow, enjoy the class, and you're sure to maybe make some friends. After reassuring myself and fully collecting my thoughts, I turned the doorknob and, at last, began my academic career. Whoa, I can see the workshop. Space still does nothing but impress me. It seems I'm not late. There's a couple students here already, but no teacher. Some of them are talking with each other, others are minding their own business. Is that dino drawing on the desk with their claws? I don't think that's really loud. Oh well. I sit in a random seat. Not at the end, but not at the front either. There's barely a couple minutes left before class starts. Are we the only ones here? I think I can count the students on hand. Did I get the wrong class? I doubt it. I checked the room numbers on my schedule. Even the teacher's name on the school's website. Well, nothing's really happening right now, so I'll just check my phone while waiting for the class to start. I pull up Rexit, reading the posts on the mechanics subforum. A couple of pictures of cars, people discussing designs, and of course people shitting on the T-Rexla. How do you manage to even make a car that bad? The only reason people even buy it is for the damn meme or to feel like they're special. Just an oversized battery-powered metal box on wheels. And after mentally ranting about the shittiest car ever known to man, I could hear the classroom light up. Has the teacher shown up? My attention drifted over from my phone to the area of interest, which seemed to be right next to the door. Someone just entered the classroom, and at first glance I saw he was hauling something in a wagon. A dino guy. I'm not quite sure what species. Ankylosaur? Maybe. My attempts to see what was held within said wagon were all thrown out of the window as a large crowd formed around him. Seems like he's quite popular around these parts. How fun. Yo, what's up? Dude, is that KS? I haven't seen him since the incident. Nice. Can't wait to see you kick ass in the stadium again. Bro, how long did it take for you to fix him? Calmarse, cabrones. Please, I just got here. He spoke with such an unserious tone. It's like he was expecting it the moment he walked in. Can't seem to get a real reading on his character. He seems friendly, but I don't want to fully label him just yet. Maybe his parents are rich? I mean, richer than most people's parents, since basically everyone here is either rich or talented. Either way, I don't want to get on his bad side, it seems. Look at those spikes. Yikes. After a few minutes of pleasing the masses, I notice he's walking towards me. Oh, crap. Did I just sit in his seat or something? Okay, just play it cool, Justin. Don't pull another number like in the hallway earlier. Yo, the seat taken? Huh? Oh, not at all. Feel free to sit here if you want. As he sits next to me, I can see his armor up close. Damn. I'm sure whoever gets into a fight with him will definitely feel it in the morning. I take a moment to look at the wagon he brought along with him, curious as to what's inside. I can see some tools, pieces of metal, and... Wait a minute. What in the name of Raptor Jesus is in that? It's the biggest scorpion I've ever seen in my life. Oh, hold on. The scorpion is a work of metalcraft. Each of those limbs has a weapon of death and destruction mounted on it. The weld work, the design... this is some crazy good handiwork. This tail looks like an ankylo's, pure mounds of metal, which at first glance looks way too heavy to carry on such a thin limb. Its arms have menacing pincers, with jagged fangs on each one for tearing apart whatever it grabs. I see he knows his stuff. Everything looks so clean, welding spotless, and almost polished to a sheen. So this is a BattleBot. For Christ's sake, it even looks better than most of the BattleBots I've ever seen on TV. God, imagine the sounds of the hydraulics. I would kill to see it in action right now. The more I look at it, the more I feel the urge to reverse engineer it in my mind. What metals could he have used? Steel? Aluminum? If only I could examine it even further, maybe analyze its schematics. You okay? Looks like you're about to drool over my baby, man. I snapped back into my senses, realizing I'd been ogling this machine for God knows how long. Another wave of embarrassment soon flooded into me, realizing that I just made a fool of myself. Again. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. That thing looks amazing. How long did it take you to build it? Not too long. Maybe 2 months, or more. Finding the right parts and materials was the hardest part. 2 months? With that level of quality? No fucking way. You did all of this in just 2 months? You must be a damn prodigy. This works is practically perfect. It was easy. Just a little bit of elbow grease and some sleepless nights. Anyways, that's Killer Scorpion. My old pride and joy. Well, until some bastard zip-bombed his memory with foreclaw content. Got me disqualified last year. Whoa. Foreclaw? Jeez. I swear if I find them, I'll rip them a brand new one. But whatever. I done a memory wipe and a spruce up. Should be good to go this season. Despite the moment of rage, the amount of passion in his words was clear. He clearly really cares about this. That's one thing I can relate to. Maybe he isn't as bad as I first imagined. So, I take it you're into BattleBots? Dude, are you kidding me? I've been watching them since I was little. I even tried building one myself. But my dad forced me to scrap it because I took parts from his workshop. I felt my face drop into a slight frown as I took a moment to reflect on the masterpiece I had built to try and impress my father. Hours spent building, planning, the blood, sweat, and tears I put into it, and the sneer on my father's face when I showed it to him. Better move on from the thought. Anyways, since you have a BattleBot, I assume you're in the robotics club? He simply nods in affirmation and gently pats the mechanical head of his creation. That's right, man. Me and Chaos are the frontliners for the reef sharks. Mierda. I forgot to say. Name's John. Justin. Justin Hayden. Good to meet you, Justin. Oh, Justin, you finally didn't fumble the bag. Plus, a guy who builds BattleBots? Hell yeah. Soon enough, the final bell rang to signify the start of class. My mind wandered to what kind of teacher Mr. Conager was. Hey, how's the teacher of this class? You mean Mr. Conager? Yeah, he's pretty great. If you look past his ramblings. Right after the class door opened up, a gruff-looking packy entered. Is that a hard hat? He took a moment to set down his monster of a toolbox that he was carrying. Boom! Sweet Arthur, Jesus, what's in that thing? I After taking a sip from his T-Rex-sized mug of coffee, he let out a heavy sigh of relief before heading to the front of the class. After clearing his throat, he spoke up. Can any of y'all here tell me, what's the one thing engineers do? As the dino spoke with a heavy southern accent, which I will not be able to properly do, a few hands immediately shot up.
Engineers build, right?
Incorrect.
Well, duh, they fix things.
Wrong again. Engineers... design? Nope. As the answers started coming in, I soon found myself raising my own hand before Mr. Conager picked me out of the crowd. I recalled something a friend of mine, my dad, said a while back. Reaching the depths of my memory, I did my best to draw from it before I spoke. Engineers solve problems? Bullseye! Engineers solve problems. For a moment, I felt like my chest was going to explode from this new emotion I was feeling. Was this... pride? I couldn't help but smile. What makes an engineer is their ability to find solutions to problems. Well, not every problem. Like, objectively, what is beauty? That's too philosophical. Engineers solve practical problems. The only way you'll be able to do that in this classroom is with a good teacher and an open mind. Mr. Conager grabs a piece of chalk and writes his name on the blackboard behind him before continuing his sentence. And that's exactly what my job is. I'm Mr. Conager, and I'll be your mechanical engineering teacher for the year. While you take this class, you'll learn the ins and outs of machines of all sizes and even work on some of your own. And if you're lucky, you may even get selected for an apprenticeship by one of the many companies that sponsor this campus. While Mr. Conager was talking about the syllabus, I couldn't help but notice all the different trinkets laying in the front half of the room. Projects from students long past, a few personal items, and what appeared to be diplomas from various campuses lined the walls as decoration. Mr. Conager sure did have a history with his craft. That alone earned him my immediate respect. Soon enough, Mr. Conager's spiel about the syllabus came to an end, and he moved on to the next topic. Now, I know I said you'd get your hands on in this class, but there's more to mechanical engineering than nuts and bolts. Your voice ain't right. Look, dog, I told you I'm not gonna be able to, like, whip one out at the fucking drop of a hat. I ain't practiced that type of shit. First thing you need to know before jumping straight into the tools in the shop is a little bit of math. He then turned back to the board, writing advanced geometry before underlining it. I could already hear groans and sighs from the back. That isn't fun for most people. Though, not for me. I get it. I felt the same exact way as y'all when I had to do math, before I got to try any of the cool stuff. But I assure you that I won't be all that much. You'll need to understand this, because when it comes to engineering, even the smallest mistakes can lead to the biggest of disasters. Here are your worksheets. You have till the end of class to fill them out and bring them to me. Good luck. Alright, bring it on. Welcome to Chapter 2. This is some sample text. Welcome to Chapter 3. This is some sample text. And I'm going to assume here that we're going to have ending 1, Chapter 1. Here we go. And we've got sample text. Alright. You know when you start hitting the sample text, you done it. Oh, everybody loves sample text. They eat it the fuck up. And we got ending 1. There we go. Alright. That was a fun little look. It definitely reminds me I need to start getting familiar with accents again. I don't think anybody was too pleased with the NG accent there because, well, you know, it wasn't really much of an NG accent, was it? In preparation for whenever we come back around to MegaLoveMania, whenever some more content comes out, I'll definitely need to figure out a voice for our main short girl here, because pretty clear I did not have anything ready to go for that. But yeah, no, it was a good little run through there. I think we did about what? It was about a 30 to 40. How'd y'all enjoy it? I think it's a pretty good one. It's good to see. It's good to see some stuff coming out for it. Oh, hold up a sec. Need to like had a burp and then like I couldn't get my breath quite there. Just use the demon voice. I don't think people would be too keen on that. Yeah, no, like it's good to see something deliverable in terms of development. That's what I'm trying to get at there. Because it's very easy for people to kind of write a project off as having nothing there when they don't really get to do anything with it, right? And that's why oftentimes people always are like, we need more stuff now, right? And I think that this alpha is a very good way to kind of appease people and show that this isn't just smoke and mirrors. I think you could like see in there a couple locations where there's obviously the intention for more visuals, the intention for maybe changing up some of the music, and just a couple of like grammatical or spelling issues, but those are the grammatical and spelling issues are always easily ironed out after you have other people have eyes on it, right? And I think I only saw like 2 or 3, so I wouldn't say that's too bad. It had a lot of visuals. I don't think anybody can really say that it didn't. There was a lot of times where there was a lot being shown. Like for example, the handshake. You didn't need to show like a CG there, but it was nice to kind of have it because it helps to keep your eyes, you know, not just seeing the same thing the entire time. It keeps it fresh. I do like that. The only thing I'll say on that though is that I hope it doesn't become too much of a thing where there is what's the word I'm looking for here? Don't get bogged down trying to get CGs for literally everything, I guess is what I'm trying to articulate there. Of course, it's not like people necessarily need my input, right? Just because this is a passion project, right? I don't think they have a Patreon up, and I don't think the intention was to charge for this. I'm not gonna like say that that's factual because obviously I can't remember myself. The handshake was actually meant to be a pop-up, not a CG. Okay, got it. Let's see here. Let me read the chat for a minute. Did they say how far along they were with this demo? The demo was just covering chapter 1. I'm not sure how much the rest of it is put together currently. Not perfect, but awesome accent. Well, I appreciate that. Looks great so far, Wolf. It's cool seeing the progress leading to a working build. And like I said, I think the biggest thing that this is going to do is show that like there is meat here to MegaLoveMania, even if it's going to take a little while before the full product's here. I don't think that's a bad thing. We prefer to keep our heads down to make quality over speaking loud to promote trash. That's a pretty good way to handle it, I would say. Looking good, man. You did a great job rendering the BG sketches I provided. Hey Humo. Hey Duro. Missed this fish snoot. Yep, we got the shark wife. Although we didn't really get to talk to shark wife, we got spooky scary sharky. Yeah, I was getting concerned this would just be canned. No, yeah, I think one thing is like development takes time. There's ins and outs of things that aren't always going to be public. Especially, like I said, when it's a passion project. You just kind of gotta, like, kick back and, like, wait until something comes out, right? And the thing is, there's tons of different content for not just, like, this fandom, but, like, just in general. Like, there's nothing wrong with waiting for a good product. because it's better to wait for a good product than demand a product release early and get a bad product. I think that's something that's been seen time and time again. I can think of 2 examples right off the fucking rip. Killing Floor 3 and No More Room in Hell 2. Both of those games released way too early. And of course they're outside of the scope of this fandom, but the thought behind it still stands, you know? It's definitely nice seeing progress on this project. Being able to show definitive proof like this will always dispel any rumor mongering better than words could. So good job, Wolf and Go. Yeah. And another thing to keep in mind is that there's always going to be detractors from every project as well, regardless of the quality of said project. I would say that this was for a early access look at Chapter 1, I would say it was pretty well put together, you know? So any criticisms, always make sure to look for constructive criticism. Don't look for just people being people, I suppose. My one thing is the description of the BattleBot drives me mad from a mechanical perspective. Too much mechanical complexity, more moving parts, more to break. I think it would be nice to be able to actually see the bot and then kind of work from there. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is very high effort, and I appreciate them taking their time with it. You want it to enhance, not distract, right? Yeah, that's what I was going for before with not wanting it to be too much, but you need to have some variety in what you're displaying. One weapon, high durability, no upside down state. And no upside down state. Yeah, the handshake CG was nice, but definitely don't need them for all the little things. Same goes for character sprites, like the security guard holding Justin's ID. It's a fine balance you have to meet with what you're dedicating to providing versus what you need to provide, right? You don't want to end up in a situation where you've overcommitted to something and it's going to push back everything else. Like I said, it's fine to take your time, but don't end up with scope creep. It'd be surrounded by a frame and then pop up in the middle of the BG and sprites. Thereby the best BattleBot design thus far has been a tungsten cube, but I digress. A tungsten cube that can launch itself. Absolutely. It's similar to how Toby includes flavor text during battles. The fights don't need it, but it gives a charm that it wouldn't otherwise have. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It's nice flavor, right? It helps you stand out some. As for Patreon, no, there's no Patreon up until the full demo is out. Then we will add one, which will help fund the amazing people who work on this. The full game will be free, however. Right. Okay. So there you go. That's from Wolf directly. And I think that's a good way to do it, right? Once the demo's out, you have your proof of concept. And anybody that wants to help fund that to reach the... to help realize it to its full... can do so. Looking forward to more. Good first foot forward. Trust the process, gang. Absolutely. Rather not treat it as a product. I would pay full money for this. That's the funny part. Right. And I mean, that's always going to be the case, right? When you have something that's free and it's of high quality, there are going to be people that want to support it, right? That's kind of always the thing. Because you don't... Getting a free product is good and all, right? But people also recognize that people need to be... Well, people should be compensated for the work, right? Especially if you want to see them be able to do more of the same stuff. It also makes it so that if it is free, you aren't restricting it from people who might not be able to otherwise. Because at the end of the day, games are an art form, and art should be available, if that makes sense. I mean, that's one of the reasons people are a proponent for like piracy and everything, but that's a whole different conversation. Gee, I sure hope there aren't any evil Parasaur or Parasaur adjacent characters in this game. Honestly, so far this is good. Like some said, details are nice, but don't let it slog the production. Also, Ms. Bunyan takes this 20 out of 10 indeed. Or makes this 20 out of 10 indeed. Yeah, I can tell that this is definitely going to have some people jumping up and down with the side characters. Here's an extension of ideals and artistic principles. So Olivia Castle Crashers win. There's also Susie and Longfang. Yeah, there's a ton of motherfuckers in the Castle Crasher already. No Shortwife yet, just Jackenstein. You're taking too long. Scorpion bot pick would be nice, but I assume would be in chapter 2 either way. We're taking too long. Wait, battles? The game has battles? The game has got battle bots because it's a mechanical school. Or like not a mechanical school, but it's a school for engineering and everything. And obviously some engineers like making the little robots that fight. Nice to see you're involved with the project, Royal Challenger. Your art's always badass. I'm glad that people enjoy this. I've been in a state of dread this entire time about how people enjoy this. I made this at first as a dedication to Wani, which changed my life. However, it felt like a huge mountain at times, to the point that even the soundtrack would make me anxious, so this is amazing to see everyone enjoy. That's the thing, right? I'll read what Jake said first. You got a good thing going here. As someone who would not be alive if it weren't for Wani, I have faith in you, bud. Yeah, that's the thing, right? This is... It's... As someone who, by definition, I suppose, is a creator, I can understand the anxieties and hardships that come with just straight up creating something. There's often a lot of doubt as to your abilities. There's issues with whether or not what you're going to do is going to please people. And the best thing you can really do with that is just accept that there's people who aren't going to like what you do. That's one of those things that you can't please everybody. Unfortunate as that is. But what you can do is make something that pleases you. And if you can do that, there are going to be people who like what you do. You are your own biggest critic, and you have to accept that it's okay to maybe make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. You just need to learn if you do. And yeah. I think I'm going to start waffling on here and it's going to become incomprehensible if I keep trying to be like philosophical. I don't know how applicable it is to this project, but I think it's a good idea to first have the main core of the game working and then take the time to introduce extra things like specific sprites or extra CGs. It's definitely one of the ways that you can take a project. I can understand the idea of get everything ironed out first and then go. I can also understand we need to take it like at a chapter at a time. It's completely fair either way you go. You just need to make sure that you have the workflow for it and the discipline that either workflow that would require. As a side note for this, massive amount of references in the first 15 minutes of the game. While it's amazing to make callbacks to previous or current games, so it would not be repetitive on the overuse of them. It depends. Obviously there were a lot of references out the gate, right? I don't really have much of an issue with having a blast of references and getting them kind of out of the way, if that makes sense. And then only having a couple sprinkled throughout, right? Because then you can focus more on the story and the characters that are being introduced. But everybody's going to have different opinions on it. Project's looking promising so far. You're right, however, I wanted to make a bang of an introduction, give everyone attention-grabbing things to find and enjoying the BGs. It also shows that, like, the team is aware of the community that they're making the game for, right? I'm always happy to see more Student Wani stuff. Yeah. It's good to see that the community puts stuff out, right? I may not be as big of a player, and I may not have done as much in this like past year relating to Student Wani, but I do still like seeing what happens, right? Because it's a creative process, and I believe that the two games are very good at helping people kind of realize their emotions and talk about them and like their experiences and put those into something tangible. And we're getting all mystical and shit. What, like a fucking wizard? It's honestly impressive how many of these projects became tangible games based off of one parody project. I also love how genuine these stories seem to be from all
these different creators. Yeah, like I was saying, the games that inspired them to do this are genuine games, and as a result, you're likely going to have genuine products. But yeah, I think that was a nice little look at it. I'm not gonna sit here and talk for a whole nother hour, even though I'm sure I could figure out a way to do it. We're gonna go ahead and cap it off. So I would like to thank Wolf for extending the opportunity to take a look at MegaLoveMania here, and I wish them all the best with the future development. And whenever they have something else they'd like to show, I will be more than happy to take a look at it. But yeah, we'll be rolling into Castle Crashers after this, so anybody who wants to stick around for that, by all means, you can do so. Otherwise, if you're going to be dropping off, I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. And I'll hope to catch you again on another stream. Until then, take care.